Hey everyone, welcome to another BTM screencast. Today we're going to be going over Chapter 4, Fittings. So after completing this chapter, you should be able to identify and describe common types of fittings in residential plumbing installation. Understand certain fitting materials and designs can only be used for specific systems, as well as some fitting materials that can be used in all residential systems. Relate fitting design selection to plumbing codes, and order fittings based on installation requirements, size, and materials. So we'll go over some of the most common offsets that you'll see in plumbing. And you can see here it's 90, 45, and a 22.5. Keep in mind that a 22.5 degree fitting is designed for DWV system only. 90 and 45 degree fittings are used for most piping systems. Flexible tubing allows offsets to be created without fittings, so this would be like our PEX. Reference to the degree of a fitting is common when ordering fittings for most systems. When DWV cast iron fittings are ordered, the ordering process involves the percent of a circle a fitting represents. So here's a good visual for the different types of fittings. So you can see right in here we have the 90 degree, half of the 90 is the 45, and then 1/2 of the 45 is your 22.5. Fittings are offered with two basic connection types. So they're fittings that receive pipe and fittings that are inserted into a hub. So one's going to receive and one gets inserted into a hub. A fitting design known as a street fitting has one end that receives pipe and one end that has the same connection type as the other pipe. Not all material types or fitting designs are offered in a street fitting design. Some piping systems, such as no hub cast iron, are not offered with a hub and are therefore not considered a street design. Pressure-type plastic piping products that utilize a solvent weld or glue have a deeper socket than a plastic DWV fitting. And here you can see, here's your socket design. So you have a socket on both ends. Your street design, you only have a socket on one end. Similarities of all offset fittings are the change of direction they achieve. So a 90-degree fitting that is installed to create a perpendicular change is just like that. That's all it does. Pressure systems such as water and gas use a short design pattern, and drain waste vent systems use a longer radius design pattern. The reason that this is longer, and it's going to be called a sweep, is because when you have your wastewater coming out, you don't want a hard 90 like that. You want the 90 to go more like that, but a 90. And here we have different types of offsets. So you can see it goes off based the circle. So a quarter is a 90-degree elbow, and a 45 is 1/8. A fitting that has three connections used for pressure systems is known as a T. A T is ordered by stating the largest size side first, and also stating the size of the run before the size of the branch. So keep this in mind. If all three sides are the same size, order the T using the one size. And there's a chart that we'll go over that has this. When both sides of the run are the same size, order the T using the single run size and the branch size. And here's a picture of a T. Now if we have our first side, second side, and third side, this description is how we would order it. So you can see if we have side 1, side 2, and side 3, it's ordered just like that. A coupling is also known as a sleeve and connects two equal-sized pipe ends to form one continuous pipe. Except for service weight cast iron pipe, every piping system uses a coupling to connect two pipe ends. Coupling is not offered in a street design. So we'll see these in lab, and sometimes this will be a crimp. Sometimes the ones that we have don't have one. But a coupling couples two pipes together. And you can see on this one here, the pipes go into it, and on this one, the pipes go over it. Reducers are a fitting designed to connect two different pipe sizes together. A reducing coupling and the fitting reducer are two different design styles. A fitting reducer is a street fitting and the largest side of the street side, which inserts into a socket of another fitting to reduce a pipe size. A reducing T is commonly created by inserting a fitting reducer into two or three sides of a T. Now, if we look at this one, what we're doing is actually creating a reducing coupling. So if we didn't have the correct size, we're able to get our pipe, put it into a coupling, which is a reducer, and then this pipe will slide into it again. And this is pretty common to do this, because if you don't have the right size fittings, you're able to go reduce and make it work the way that you need it to. A bushing is a fitting design for connecting two different pipe sizes. It's similar to a fitting reducer, except it's more compact. A bushing inserts into a fitting hub and receives a pipe end or a street fitting. Not all types of piping systems use bushings. They're more common for threaded and plastic systems, and they are not allowed in many gas codes. The reason for this is that the bushings tend to crack, and if you have a bushing that cracks and you're running gas through it, you're going to have a gas leak. And here's an example of a bushing. A male adapter has external threads on one end and a socket connection on the other. The threaded portion can connect to any material type compatible with National Pipe Thread standards. The male adapter is manufactured to iron pipe size, which we covered previously. Small sizes of copper male adapters are offered with the street end. Flexible tubing systems use male adapters that insert the unthreaded portion into the tubing, leaving the threaded portion exposed to screw into a desired location. Now this is an example of the PVC male adapter, and the ones that we use in class will be for copper, so they look similar. They have the same function, it's just a different material and different size. On the opposite end of the male adapter, you have the female adapter. It has internal threads on one end and a socket end on the other. A female adapter is the opposite of a male adapter relating to its threaded portion. So the one that we saw before has the threads on the outside, and the female has the threads on the inside. The threaded portion can receive any material type that has external tapered threads compatible with National Pipe Thread standards. A female adapter is manufactured to iron pipe size standards. So this is hard to see in here, but right here on your PVC, this adapter would go on, solvent welded on, and you can see if you look close, you have your threads on the inside of the pipe. Unions are a pipe fitting designed to provide access directly within a piping system. Most codes dictate that unions remain accessible. Most gas codes dictate that a union cannot be installed in a ceiling. And again, this makes sense in case, because it's gas, if it's leaking, you want to be able to identify where the leak is and not have it hidden in the ceiling. Various designs are available to connect similar and dissimilar materials. Drain waste vent systems utilize them for portions of a system that require sewage pumps. So here's a look at some unions. On this one and this one, we have on our tool and material ID test. Water that is safe for human consumption is free from impurities and is known as potable water. So this is your tap water from a water fountain, a faucet. No pipe fitting a product installed in a potable water system can consist of more than 8% lead. Flux and solder used to solder potable water systems cannot contain more than 2% lead. And of course, these make sense because we don't want lead in our drinking water. Some states, such as California, require potable water systems to be 100% lead free. And here's some water distribution materials. So we covered some of these before. We have our PEX, CPVC, copper, polyethylene, galvanized, which isn't used too much anymore, and brass. PEX is one of the most popular products installed for water distribution systems. The fittings have a unique rib pattern on the exterior to provide adequate holding capabilities once the fitting is installed. And we'll go over some of this. Again, there's two types. One is a crimping and one is an expansion. And here we cover those fairly quickly. And here you can see we go from PEX. We have the male end, a female end, and it transitions into copper. So it goes from PEX, male thread, to copper female thread, and carries through. The connection of the fittings and pipe for CPVC are solvent welded. The glue cannot be used to solvent weld any other types of plastics. It's specific just for this. The solvent welded joints typically take 24 hours to cure before the system can be pressurized. So this isn't like our copper pipes or our PEX. You need to wait about a day before you're able to pressure test and see if there's any leaks. And here we have it transitioning from CPVC. Again, we have a female adapter going into a male end. A male end going into a female end of copper. Water distribution systems use 3 different grades of copper tube. We won't go over those right now. The fittings for all 3 are the same. Copper drain waste vent fittings have a greater radius and a shallow socket. Again, they're going to have a greater radius going back because they're part of the drain waste vent system. So instead of being a sharp 90 like we see, they're more of a sweeping 90. Copper fittings are joined in a copper tube with one of 2 welding processes. In this class, we're going to be focusing on soldering. And again, here we have, this is a copper T, and we have copper pipes coming in. All polyethylene fittings have a unique rib design, which is only compatible with polyethylene. The fitting is inserted into the tubing and secured with a stainless steel hose clamp. And here we have an example of that. This is hard to see, but this is a black pipe coming through. Galvanized materials often produce rust when exposed to certain water qualities. That's why we really don't use galvanized pipe anymore for water distribution systems. Brass is much more popular. Galvanized is commonly used to cap or plug pipe ends and to test piping systems because it's less expensive than brass. Brass fittings are used where poor water quality is present and galvanized materials will corrode. But again, we mostly use brass. It's not really popular to see galvanized fittings or pipes anymore. Brass fittings are available with chrome plating. And some of you have seen us in your faucets for your sink or around your shower. And here we have an example of a galvanized pipe with a galvanized cap. PVC is used for water distribution and is limited to installation on the exterior of a residential building. PVC typically terminates at a maximum distance of 5 foot 0 inches inside the house. The flow radius of fittings are more compact than drain waste vent, and the socket of a fitting is deeper. So again, because it's a supply, you're not going to have the sweep like you do for drain waste vent. It's going to be more abrupt. PVC adapters are only offered with plastic threads. PVC female adapters should not be screwed over metal male adapters. This will prevent cracking or splitting of the PVC adapter, and you don't have to worry about stripping it. And here we have an example. So here's our PVC male and our copper female. Drainage, waste, and vent represents the combined drainage and vent systems. So most people know that when you flush your toilet, it goes out of your house. But at the same time, there's also a pipe that goes out your roof, and that allows the system to vent. Many codes vary on the installation of drainage system and vent system, but the material types can be the same for both systems. So a lot of times, going back to my previous point, you'll see a metal pipe coming out of a roof. The fittings in the installation of a drain waste vent system are designed to allow wastewater and sewage to flow with little resistance out of the drainage system by gravity. Typically, these go from an 1/8 inch to an inch per foot. Inch is really steep. Most common that you'll see would be 1/8 to maybe half. The smallest plastic drain waste vent available is 1.25 inches. So here we go over some of the fitting materials. And this isn't that important right now at this point in the class. A Y has 3 connections and is named based on its similarity to the letter Y. The side outlet connection is known as the branch. The 45-degree branch creates a direction of flow to eliminate disturbance of wastewater within a drain waste vent piping system. It can also be installed with the branch and the run in the vertical and horizontal positions. And here's a picture of a Y. And again, this can be installed in the vertical and horizontal position. Combo is a trade name for a 3-sided fitting that creates a long radius 90-degree branch that is perpendicular to the run. They're manufactured to eliminate having to create a single fitting by combining a Y and a 45. A cast iron 45-degree fitting is also known as a 1/8 bend, which we went over previously, and a combo is commonly known as a combo Y and a 1/8 bend. A combo is used extensively in the drainage system with the branch and run in the vertical or horizontal positions. And here we have a picture of a combo. Now you can see how similar this is to a Y, except that this portion is extended out. A sanitary tee is a compact fitting with 3 connections used in drainage and vent systems. The side connection, known as the branch, creates a standard radius that is 90 degrees from the run. The branch has a direction of flow to direct wastewater and sewage through a drainage system, and we'll go over this shortly. Its use is strictly regulated by code pertaining to the installation position based on the flow direction. So if we look at this picture of the sanitary tee, we can tell that this will be the flow direction because of the way that this is rounded. If we reverse the flow direction, you can see that it wouldn't flow well, it would get caught right here. And we can see the same thing here. So flow direction is this way. A sanitary cross has 4 connections with 2 as branches and has the same flow pattern as a sanitary tee. It is used to connect fixtures that are located side by side and back to back. Most codes limit the type of fixtures that can connect into the two branches, and a sanitary cross is regulated the same way as a sanitary T. A twin elbow has the same flow pattern as a sanitary T, a sanitary cross, and a standard 90-degree elbow. It is called a double quarter bend when ordering cast iron materials. Its name is derived from being two 90-degree fittings uniquely manufactured to connect back-to-back fixtures in a confined space. And you can see the twin elbow looks exactly like they say. It looks like two 90-degree elbows placed together. The test tee, it cannot receive discharge from the drain. It's used to provide access for cleaning and is often referred to as a clean-out tee. The test tee has 3 connections. And a lot of times you'll see these in floors, and again, the clean-out is just placed so you're able to access the inside of your pipe in case that there's a clog or a backup. A clean-out is installed throughout a drain waste vent system to provide access into the piping system for clearing obstructions. A clean-out is a female adapter and a threaded plug used together to create a single fitting. The plug is often called a clean-out cover. Codes dictate the installation locations and sizing of clean-outs. Plastic pipes are offered in a street-type design. So here we could see the clean-out, and again, this will allow us access to come in and clear any obstructions that would be from here down. A closet bend is specifically used as the last fitting of a drainage system serving a toilet. The closet bend is a reducing 90-degree fitting. The 4-inch side of the closet bend can only be installed vertically, with a 3-inch piping installed horizontally. A street version of the style is offered in plastic materials, with the 4-inch size as the street side of the fitting and the 3-inch side having a hub. So you can see this is even marked here. This is your 3-inch side. This is your 4-inch side. This will connect to your drain waste vent system, and this will connect to your closet flange, which will connect to your toilet. Heel inlet 90-degree is a specialty drain waste vent fitting and is referred to as a heel outlet fitting by a plumber. It can only be used in specific locations and is a drain waste vent 90-degree with a branch located at the heel of the bend. The standard radius design is only offered as a 4-inch by 2-inch, 3-inch by 2-inch, and 3-inch by 1.5-inch size in plastic, and 3-inch by 2-inch in no-heb cast iron. A long sweep version is available in plastic materials, but the sizing is limited to 3-inch by 2-inch and 3-inch by 1.5-inch. And here's a picture of your heel inlet. Closet flange goes on the bottom of your toilet because the toilet is also known as a water closet, and the flange that connects the toilet to the drainage system is called a closet flange. PVC, ABS, and cast iron are materials commonly used to manufacture closet flanges. In the lab, we'll be working with PVC. Most flanges have slots that allow adjustment of the closet bolts and also have fixed slot locations that do not allow adjustment of the closet bolts. A wax seal prevents harmful sewer gases from entering occupied areas and seals the connection between the toilet and the closet flange. So this is your closet flange. This is where your closet bolts will sit that allow you to adjust. These will allow you to anchor to your floor. This goes down into the 4-inch portion of your closet elbow, and then your wax ring or your waxless gasket will sit right here, and that's what creates the seal. Every fixture must be served with a protective water seal to prevent harmful sewer gas from entering an occupied space. In this case, it's a P-trap. A P-trap gets its name from its appearance, which resembles the letter P, and is installed receiving the outlet flow of water from a fixture. P-traps are available in a variety of sizes, which include one-piece and two-piece design. In this instance, they're showing a PVC one. There's also brass ones available. Now, the reason that this is important is because your water sits right here. So you'll have one like this under your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink. And what happens is if this is coming in from your sink and it's coming down, it'll only reach this far. It'll push the rest of this up over, and that gets put in your drain waste vent system. But it'll always keep this water seal here so any gas can't come back up. A slip joint P-trap is a tubular size and has a smaller outside diameter as a connecting drain waste vent pipe. The fitting for connecting tubular sizes to DWV pipe sizes is known as a trap adapter, also referred to as a DeSanko. A trap adapter is typically installed at the fixture installation phase of a project. Cast iron, copper, and galvanized piping systems use a brass trap adapter. So here we can see that this is coming in, most likely from your fixture. You have your gasket, and then right here is your adapter. So this gasket will allow that to seal tightly, and this just gets turned until it's tight. One of the most widely used products for drain waste vent installation is PVC. PVC fittings are made from the same materials as the pipe. All DWV fittings are identified on the side as DWV PVC designs. ABS is black and easily distinguished from white PVC. ABS fitting designs and code regulations are the same as those for PVC. Connections must be made with approved adapters. Most codes require the use of glue specifically designed for ABS. Cast iron fittings are more expensive and they take longer to install. Smallest size cast iron fitting is 1.5 inches. DWV fittings must comply with all the same code regulations as for other DWV material types. Cast iron is generally used in commercial as opposed to residential plumbing. The reason is it costs more in residential, but it works well in residential because it reduces the noise of the wastewater. Corrugated stainless steel tubing fittings used for gas distribution systems. They use a unique self-flaring fittings that are not compatible and not interchangeable with other tubing. Traditional fitting designs such as male adapters, couplings, and T's are used with CSST, and it's an alternative to black steel pipe for gas distribution systems. And here's a picture of some of the corrugated stainless steel tubing and the fittings. In summary, most fittings are manufactured with the same material as the connecting pipe. Brass fittings can be interchangeable with numerous piping materials. Threaded fittings can be used to connect different material types. Plumbing codes dictate that solvent welded fittings can only be used with compatible pipe. PEX fittings are specifically designed for the type of PEX connections utilized. Cast iron fittings are specifically designed for either no hub or the SV pipe. Dissimilar metal connections can cause corrosion and must be protected against electrolysis. Drain waste vent fittings have a flow pattern and plumbing codes that dictate their use. DWV fittings are not designed for use with pressure piping systems. Water piping fittings have more compact design than DWV fittings. Black steel fittings cannot be installed in a potable water system. A male adapter has external threads and a female adapter has internal threads. A street fitting design has one end that is the same outside diameter as the connecting pipe. A fitting socket is also known as the hub. That's it, and we'll see you next time.